Hello, my name is Kate Marshall. The name of my channel is called Inked Paper Art. In today's project, I'm going to show you an amazing folio made from one single-sided piece of 12 by 12 cardstock. Now, I have another project out there that I've done a single-sided video on. This is a single-side project, meaning you can use all that old scrapbook paper that we bought that is completely blank and white on the backside. If you go to like any of the scrapbooking stores these days or craft stores like Hobby Lobby, single-sided cardstock is what you're often going to find. Sometimes you'll get lucky and find double-sided, but this is a project that gives us a beautiful piece of ephemera when we're done, or a happy mail folio, or whatever you want to use it for. Anyway, we're going to use single-sided 12 by 12. So grab it, use it. The one that I'm using today, I'm actually going to use two. It's called Porcelain Chatsworth from Basic Gray. Obviously very old, right? And then this one here is called Wild Asparagus, and it doesn't tell me any other information on it. This one is actually kind of like an asparagus color on the back of it. Says it's wild asparagus. I have no idea. But anyway, it's basically white on the back side, right? So I'm going to use that one, and I'm going to use this one. We're going to start with this guy here. I'm going to make two. If you make two, this one doesn't necessarily coordinate together, but if you use two 12 by 12 cardstocks that go together, or at least are in the same color family, you can interchange the cutoff pieces from one piece of paper and use them as pockets on the other. So it's a great idea to make two at the same time and then kind of mix the two together. You'll see more about that here in a minute. Let's focus on making one before we make two. We're going to start with this one, which is truly white on the back side. You are not going to see any white paper in this project whatsoever. And we're going to pull in our scoreboard, and this is just Martha Stewart, I don't know, 12-inch scoreboard. Before I do that, I need to cut off this branding strip really quick. Let's cut that real quick. I always think I'm ready for a video, and then, whoops, not really. So I cut off that branding strip. Perfect. Now we're going to take our piece of paper. If you're using a directional paper, part of it will be upside down, whatever, through this project. It does work better with non-directional paper, which means that you can have a pattern going every which way and it doesn't matter, right? So I'm going to put it in the scoreboard. I'm going to push it all the way over to the left-hand side, all the way up to the top. And the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to score it at 4, and I'm going to score it at 8. And so just write down the 4 line all the way down. Don't press too hard. Don't tear your paper. 4 and 8. Okay. So I did 4. I did 8. Now I'm going to turn my paper. I'm going to turn my paper just like this. And now here on this one, so I've rotated it one time around. Doesn't matter which way. I'm going to score it at 6 inches. Perfect. And now I'm going to score some technical scores here. So we have a 4-inch score line here, and we have an 8-inch score line here. Those score lines are already in your paper. If you need to ink them to see them, go ahead and do that. No big deal. I'm going to ink mine just so you guys can see. So here's that score line right there. That's the 4-inch one. I'm just going to run a little bit of ink on it so you guys can see it a little bit better right there. And then here's the 8-inch one. And again, if you need to ink it so you can see it better, go ahead and fold it over and ink it right there. Now open it up. Now I can see them a little bit better. I don't know if you guys can see. I will hold this whole scoreboard up. But see right here where there's a little bit of an ink line? That's what we're looking for. You want to make sure that you find that 4 and 8-inch score line that you already put in. Put your paper back in and press it all the way to the left and all the way up again. Okay. Now on this first one over here, we're looking at, here's the 4-inch score line. We're going to score at 1.5 inches, so right here, down just to this line, not past that line. So here's 1.5, 1.5, and we're going right to that line. If you don't go all the way, it's okay. We're just giving ourselves a line there. Now you're going to go and score down to the second one, which is the 8-inch line. And we're going to score that one at 3 inches. And so you don't want to score this one here at 3. You want to score the middle section at 3. So find that line here, first of all, put your thing in there, and you can lightly go down and follow. Once you get to the 4-inch score line, go ahead and start scoring and score all the way to the 8-inch one. If you score a little too much, it's okay. If you don't score enough, it's okay. So basically, we found our lines here, which we scored at 4 and 8 when we had our paper turned. And then we scored 1.5 inches on the first section and stopped at this line here. We stopped, and that one really is at 4 inches, okay? And then we scored 3 inches. We didn't score this section here. We scored at 3 inches. It's really starts at 4. It starts at 4 over here on the side, right? And it went down to 8. And we just scored it there, but we're 3 inches in. It's very technical. It's actually very simple, but once you do it, it'll make sense to you. If it makes no sense right now, just give it a try. You can first try this project on a paper you absolutely hate, and then if you mess it up, it's okay. But anyway, we scored at 1.5. We scored at 3. The 1.5 went here. The 3 went here. Now we're done scoring, and we're done. We're happy, right? Okay, so take your paper out. Let's go ahead and work on some inking. We want to ink everything just so that you guys can see it a little bit better, so that I can see it a little bit better, and we're going to ink it all anyway. So we're just going to go ahead now and ink that a little bit darker there. Perfect. I'm going to go ahead and fold it in half at the 6 inches, and I'm going to ink there. And basically, we're just going to run some ink on our lines so we can see them, right? And then, you know, it folds here, so I'm going to go ahead and fold it there. And it doesn't matter which way you're folding it, basically. It really doesn't. So there, we've inked that. Now we're going to do the same thing over here. Right here, we have 0 score lines on this side, but we need to score right there. They are. See, I couldn't even find them. So here is our 1.5 inch score line. And there you can see it, our 1.5 inch score line there. So just go ahead and fold that over just like that. And you're just folding that one section. Notice it doesn't fold down here because we didn't score down there. And go ahead and give it some ink because we need to see that. So give it some ink. Now find the 3-inch score line and go ahead and fold that one in a little bit so that you can see and ink that one. So now we have something that looks like this. And you're like, that doesn't look so good. Hold on. We're going to be okay. Now we're done inking for the moment. We'll ink the whole project here in a little bit. But we need to remove this whole section here. How we do that is we're going to snip in, starting here at the middle, we're going to snip in there. And so I inked my line so I can see it, so you guys can see it. And even if you're off a little bit, it's not going to matter. So there, I just snipped in. Now I'm going to snip over here and cut this little piece out as best as I can on that line. Again, it's not rocket science. If we mess it up, it's all fine. Now don't cut here. Don't cut there. Leave that. And cut over here on this line, right like this. Good. Perfect. Awesome. And now we're going to cut only from here to here. We're going to leave these two attached on the bottom section. So cut in here and snip that guy out. So you should have a piece that looks like this that came out from right here. Perfect. That's exactly what we want. So set this guy to the side. And now we're going to look at our piece of paper. And you do have options here. But what I want to do is I want to remove this whole section right here. Okay. I want to remove that whole section. I'm going to cut the whole thing off actually. So what I do, and this, we didn't score it. It's fine. We don't need to. We're just going to cut. You could put it in your paper trimmer and cut it right there. We're cutting all the white off. So wherever you see white, you're cutting it off. And here you could leave it together. You could separate it. It doesn't matter. But we're cutting all the white off while it's folded. And we're using that line that we have there of cardstock to see where we need to trim. And it's actually kind of guiding our scissors. So you can see I cut a little. It's okay. No big deal. This one is kind of hard. I like to hold it from the top. and cut there. So now we have something that looks like this, right? Something that looks like this. It's coming together, and we have two of these. These are going to eventually be cut into pockets. And this is the part where you could take these two pieces and put it on a coordinating piece of paper and interchange, where you would have this paper be the pockets for this project and these be the pockets for this project. For right now, I'm just going to leave them, and I'm going to do them like you only have one piece of paper. Let me see, we're 10 minutes in. Let me go ahead and do the other one to this point, and then we can talk about pockets and interchanging them here in just a second. So I don't want to confuse you guys, but set your pockets aside. You're done with your pockets for right now. You have a piece that looks like this. And if you're going to make two like I am right now, just set it to the side. And I'm going to go over the whole thing start to finish one more time very quickly so that we can make this next one. So here's my next piece of paper. You don't have to have two. If you want just one, then you could just leave it as one. It's fine. I'm just going to show you what I mean by interchanging the pockets, and I'm going to go over it one more time. So I'm going to cut off this branding strip very quickly. Cut off that branding strip. And you do want to try to be accurate, because if you don't get it accurate, then your measurements might be off when you're scoring. Okay, so pay attention to that. Now we're going to get the scoreboard, and we're going to put our paper in the scoreboard. And it doesn't matter where we start. It really doesn't matter. You could do it this way. You could do it that way. It doesn't matter. Push it all the way to the left and all the way up to the top. Then we're going to score it at 4. I like to use the round side. Score it at 4 all the way down. Score it at 8 all the way down. Pick up your piece of paper. Turn your piece of paper one time. It doesn't matter which direction. Just turn it one time. And then line it up all the way over to the left, all the way up to the top. And now you're going to find that line that you put in there. This is at 4 inches. You put a line all the way across at 4 and all the way across at 8. Find that line at 4. You're going to score at 1.5 down here. So you're going to score 1.5 down to the 4. And you're going to stop. Okay? Don't go past the 4. Now you're going to find the 3-inch score line up there at the top. Put your thing in there and follow it down without pushing. Just follow it down. Get it to the line here at 4. And then you score from 4 to 8. So here's 8, here's 4, here's 3. That's what I did. I scored right here in the middle section only. Now we're done scoring. We don't need to worry about scoring anymore. We're going to pull it out of our scoreboard. I'm going to give it some ink so that you can see the score lines. And so that I can see the score lines. Basically, there's a score line at 4 inches. Here's another score line at 8 inches. Oh, we forgot the 6-inch score. There's the 4. There's the 8 and the 4. Perfect. I do need one more score. I need a 6-inch score. So on the side where we put the 1.5 and the 3, the 1.5 is here, the 3 is here. I forgot we do need to score it at 6, just down the center. So you have your 4 and your 8, and you have your 6 running perpendicular. There we go. Now we're going to fold it in half so I can ink that. Just running a quick little line of ink so I can see. And now I'm going to try to ink these so that you guys can see it again. And I'm going to fold here at the 3. This is very thick cardstock. And there, that gives me my line. So you can see we've scored it at 6. And then if you turn your paper, you scored it at 4, you scored it at 8. And when you scored it here at 6, you also did this 1.5, and you did this 3. So that's really it. It's not super hard, but anyway, you could cut them out right now like this. This is fine to cut them before you fold them. And you're going to cut them out individually. Like, don't cut both at the same time. So there's that one. And now you're going to cut over here. Now remember to keep two pieces together like that. So there's that side. And we have this little weird shape here. Set it to the side. Now fold your paper. And you can see the back side. It would be white right here, right? And now we're going to fold them together like this. And we're just going to cut them again. And we're cutting off that back panel only. Okay. Cut off that back panel only. Right to there. And cut up the line here. And cut over here. Just get your scissors in there. Cut it just like that. And now we can cut up the side here. And if anything is off along the way, you can do a little quick trim. It's not going to matter. It's perfectly fine. A little piece in there. Perfect. So now I have two that look like this. We only need one, but we have two. And now we have two sets of pockets. We have these ones and we have these ones. So I could say that I want the pockets that look like this to go on this one. Right? And I could say that I want the pockets that look like this to go on this one. So if you choose two coordinating pieces of paper and make two at the same time, you can do that. I'm going to make them as if they're not coordinating, I think. I don't know. Maybe we will mix the pockets. Anyway, let's start working on one. Let's just start working on one. So we have something that looks like this, right? We cut all of our little pieces off. Now we need to do some folding. And what I like to do is I like to fold it once and then I like to open it up and bone fold it. So we have it like this. You're going to take make sure that the tallest side is on the left. And then you have a medium tall side on the right? And the shortest is in the center. So tallest is over here on the left, shortest in the center, medium high over here. We're going to take the one in the right hand and we're going to fold it backwards like that. And then we're going to take the one in the left hand and we're going to fold it backwards like that. And now you see that you have some bubbling. This is where you need to score. And you might see that you have a little overhang. And that's where you're going to need to trim. Okay, don't stress about it. It's not a big deal at all. So from here, I like to open it up. And I like to give it one score or one bone fold all the way around, just like that. And then I like to fold it back again the way it's going to go. And I try to line it up at the bottom to keep it straight. And go ahead and go bone fold over that, just like that. Okay, that looks good. It's straight across the bottom. Not going to worry about any overhang or anything like that at this point. Now I'm going to fold that one back. I'm going to line them up at the bottom. And I'm going to bone fold that. And it is kind of thick. I used a medium weight cardstock for this project. And just go ahead and go over it with a bone folder and get it as flat and smooth as you can. Super easy project, a little intimidating from instructions, but super easy. Okay, now I do see that I have some overhangs. At this point, I'm not going to worry about it. I could trim, right? I could trim the back here. I could trim the back. Just trim it off. And when I open this one up, I could trim that. But for now, let's just leave them, right? Let's leave them. Let's put our thumb notches in. Everyone who does this project will have some to trim. I promise you. So here's how our pockets work. We're going to have multiple sets of pockets on this guy. On the front, where it folds like this, we're going to have a thumb notch here, and a thumb notch here, and a thumb notch here. And that's going to be 3 pockets. So what you want to do is, while it's all folded up, turn it upside down. And then you want to open the little back flap here. We haven't glued anything yet. And put your little, whatever you're using to punch your thumb notch in, and put it in and punch your thumb notches. Okay. Now open up the middle one and put it in there. I'm going to have to flip it upside down for this one. But I'm going to put it in there and I'm going to thumb notch it. And I'm going to do it in the center of my paper every time, or as close as I can to the center. And then I'm going to do this little guy down here. And again, for me, I need to do it upside down. That's just the way it works. You can open it up if you want. You can open it up completely and you can do it that way if that's easier for you. Just make sure you're centering it as best as you can because you got 3 that line up together. And then put it back together and fold it closed. So now you have 3 pockets that look like this. We still have a little overhang that we will eventually trim off. You can start rounding it if you want, if that helps you, right? So there's that. Now we're not done adding pockets yet. So he opens up and he opens up and he has those 3 built-in pockets at the top, right? But we also need to do a little bit of inking and a little bit of gluing, and then we add the next layer of pockets. So let's go ahead and open this up, and we know that we have thumb notches. We know that we have a thumb notch here. So I'm going to put some ink there. And we know that we have thumb notches opposite. So here's a thumb notch. We're going to ink the opposite area. And here we have a thumb notch. So we're going to ink the opposite area. And now we're going to start adding glue. And the way that you add glue is, it doesn't matter where your paper is on your table, but you're going to glue all the way down the left side and all the way down the right side with your pocket openings at top and bottom. Okay, so go ahead and glue all the way down. This is all the way down the left side. You don't have to do like the whole thing, but I am. So all the way down. Again, you could stop at that 6-inch line, but I'm doing all the way. Okay. Now you need to glue here. So you want to glue down this top tallest pocket from the top to the bottom. And I'm going to go ahead and glue all the way here. Now you want to glue right here on the medium sized pocket all the way down. And you don't need to add glue across the bottom, but I like it, so I do it. The reason why I do it is the moisture in the glue actually helps the bend of the paper and it really takes no glue. So there we go. And we'll do it again on the next one because we did 2. And then we're going to fold this guy together. So we're just going to pick him up and fold him together like this and smooth him out. Okay. And so we've got him glued here. We've got him glued here. He's glued in the middle here. And he's glued here. And he's glued here. So all glued up. And at this point is where I would do any trimming of overhang. So if you pick it up and you look at it, I don't see much white of, any white paper there, but you can see I have some overhang here and I could see it from the back, but I want to trim it where I can see the white. So I'm going to take my scissors and I'm only trimming off the little white area where I can see it. Just the little white. There we go. And now that's trimmed. And I don't see any other white. Maybe here across the top. Maybe a tiny little bit there. So trim off your little excess. We're all going to have a little bit to trim. It's perfectly fine. And there we go. Now we can ink it. So we're going to run ink all the way around everything. If you're inking. If you're not inking, then you don't care. But we still have a whole nother layer of pockets to add to this guy. So I'm going to try to ink fairly fast just to get it inked before we add those next pockets. Maybe this one will go in my fairy journal. It's kind of fairy colors. So maybe I'll do that. And you need to ink both sides. And we should have inked those thumb notches before I folded them up, but I didn't. So there's that. It's always something. So we should have inked in the thumb notch before we folded it and glued it. So I'm going to get them now. Just pop your thumb in there, hold them open. And there we go. And we need to get this one right here. Here we go. So now we're all inked up. Not this side yet, but we're getting there. Ink your score lines if you like that. I think we are inked. It looks pretty inked. So anyway, we're going to call that inked. Now remember, it folds like this. And if you want to bone fold it and squish it down again, you can. You don't really need to. Like when I'm flexing it like this, it's pretty much fixing the whole problem. So it's all good here. We have 3 pockets. You then open it up and you have this area here. Okay, so you held it like this and you open it up like this. So right here, I want to open it up one more time. Okay, just like that. And I'm looking at it like this. I want to take whatever you're using for pockets. If you're using the same matching ones, go ahead and use those. I'm going to use the other ones just because we have them and they're here. They kind of clash with it, but I'm going to use them. So anyway, I could flip it like this, but I don't like it like that either. So we're going to use it like this. You can use the same ones, right? You could use the same. Okay. So we have a thumb notch here. Wherever we have a thumb notch, you know that that's going to be seen from the front. So you want to put your pocket, where it's not going to interfere with what you see here in the front. Okay. So we're going to open it up and I'm going to start by taking one of these guys and I'm going to cut off the little piece that's hanging on. He has a little overhang too. So I'm going to cut off this little section. And this is going to become a little tuck. And so I want to take the little thumb notcher and I'm going to put a little thumb notch in there, just a little sliver. And that's going to become a little tuck. Okay. And this guy, I'm going to cut him at an angle and he's going to become 2 pockets. So I'm going to take my scissors and cut from corner to corner, just like this. And you could put it in a trimmer and do it if you would like it to be exact. And there's 2 more pockets. And then we have this pocket here, and it's actually 2 pockets. So these are our pockets that we got from this 12 by 12. And so I'm just going to leave it the same because I don't want to confuse you guys. So we're just going to use these. And so now we need to decide where we're placing these pockets, right? These triangle ones, I'm going to run some ink on them quick so we can glue them. The triangles go on the big piece, the big pocket, okay? So your 2 triangles, and you can move these anywhere. You can put them anywhere. You don't have to put them where I'm saying. The 2 triangles, I need to pick up a little more ink. 2 triangles go on the big pocket. And then we have a double pocket and a tuck. Okay, so trying to make the inking match the original inking. Okay, so we're going to put one of these here. And it doesn't matter whichever one. You can choose whatever one. You could also turn it. How am I going to turn it? You could also do it like this and do it across that side. And I really like that. So that's where I'm going to put that one. Lay out all your pockets before you glue them. The other one of these triangles is going to go on the back side of it. And it could go there. That's kind of nice. I kind of like this one here. Let's do that one there. And let's do this one here. That's okay. We'll do it like that. So we have the triangles on there. Now we have the little tuck guy. We want to ink that. You can ink all your pockets now. You can do thumb notches in the tops of those. That's what we're going to do next. We'll ink this guy. And so he's going to go, you have some options. He can go, let's open it up like this, right? Let's open it up like this. He can go right down here in the front and we can actually have 4 pockets. So I'm going to set him to the side for just a minute. He's going to go here and here's our triangles and we need to put this guy right here. So he's going to be another like this. No, dang it. I don't know where he goes. He goes somewhere. Maybe he goes here. No, he doesn't go there. Maybe he does. But anyway, you can move your pockets around just like I just did. I have a prototype that I just made up because I didn't see this video. I didn't see this anywhere. I didn't see anybody make it. I literally just sat here and played with a 12 by 12. And I'm like, we can have so many pockets. Hold on. I'll get it together. There's too many pocket options. I'm going to ink this guy and we're going to put it on here, I think. I'm trying to get it together. Too many pocket options for my little brain. All right, so this is going to go here. That's going to go there. We have a triangle on the back side of the big one. Then this folds over like that. Then it folds over like that, and we have this guy. Now you could have the 4 of them like this. If you like that, that's great, that's fine. He also could go here as a tuck, and I think that's probably where I originally had him, is he could go here as a tuck, and that's where I'm going to leave him. So let's glue these on before I move them and lose my train of thought. But he's going to go here. So I'm going to glue my tuck top and bottom and back. There we go. There's my little paper tuck. And I like to keep it just kind of leaving a little border of paper around behind it. So there's that. Now let's go ahead and glue the triangle here. That's not how I have it in the prototype, but that's okay. I made one before I started this video, first one I've ever made, and I've never seen this anywhere, but it probably exists somewhere. I don't know. Maybe it doesn't, but how cool would it be to finally invent something different in junk journal world? We all think that it's all been done, right? And again, I'm leaving a little border around my pocket, my little tuck. So there's that. And now we're going to glue this one on, and this really just goes on as 2 pieces. We don't need to worry about, anything. It's just going to go right where it sits in the natural fold. Okay, it's all inked now. Perfect. So you're going to glue here on this side. You're going to glue all the way across. I like to put a little thin line of glue here all the way over and all the way up that side. So basically, if you have a thumb notch, don't put glue there. Pretty simple. There's that. And I just like to do a little here and then across the bottom here. You don't want things falling out, and across here. And now we're done. And we can stick it on there. This one pretty much has to go exactly where the line is. And if you have overhang after you folded it, you can fix that with scissors. But it goes pretty much where the crease is here. That line is straight right all the way through. Did we get that? We didn't get that glued. We got to glue up both sides of our pocket. There we go. So you got to hit glue right through here too. All right, so it's on. It's glued. It's good. That side has many, many pockets. Now we still need to add a pocket on the back side of this one. So we're going to put it right here. I mean, you could move it over here. It doesn't matter. I like it on that side. So I'm going to do it there. And then we're going to fill this guy up with just some tags so I can show you how many pockets and where you would put it in a journal. First of all, it could go in a pocket in a journal, right? It could just go in a pocket. But if you don't want to stick it in a pocket, it can wrap around a page also. And it can actually be glued in as a tuck and then be flip out. So there's many options with it. But let's go ahead and fold it back up. So we have this guy in the back and he has the thumb notch in the front. Then we fold it over, right? And then this guy goes inside like that. Just make sure that you have 3 thumb notches in the front of your project. That means you folded it correctly. And of course, it could be folded any which way, but for this project, I like it like this. Now I'm done and I'm going to take my bone folder and I'm going to go over it one more time. You can see I have a little cracking here. That's okay. I have a little bit hanging out the bottom. I'm going to fix that. And then we're good. Yep, we're good. Okay, I'm going to fix my little cracking paper with some ink. Perfect. So it looks like this. Give it some flex. Looks like this. My little corner of my paper is kind of showing the white there. Just going to add a little ink and ink it in. There we go. A little, she says. So you have 3 pockets here. Now, it could go right in a pocket, right? It could be a piece of ephemera that goes in a journal pocket. Or, let me show you pockets first of all. Where's my little tag? I have a small tag that I use. Okay. So there's a pocket here. Obviously, there's a pocket back there. I don't like to use the back ones. I only like to use the thumb notch ones. So the thumb notch, the thumb notch, the thumb notch, right? So there's 3 pockets. It opens up. You have a tuck. That's 4. You have a pocket. That's 5. It opens up again. You have a pocket. That's 6. You have a pocket. That's 7. It flips over and you have 8 pockets. 8 pockets. It's super cute. I hope that you guys make it. Remember that the 3 thumb holes line up. That's the way it's supposed to go. Of course, you know, it could go around a page just like this. You could flip it backwards and forwards and flip it out any way that you want to flip it. But it is a really cute project out of a single-sided 12 by 12 paper. There is no white cardstock showing anywhere. We have a plethora of pockets, a plethora of folding and flipping options, right? And wrapping around pages and going in pockets and all those other things. Now, my preference would be to make 2 at the same time out of 2 coordinating pieces of cardstock so that my pockets would be different looking instead of exactly the same cardstock, right? So I'm going to hold it up close. It's kind of like a watermarked lace print kind of a thing, front and back. Anyway, this is the way it folds. Like that. I think this little extra flip here will probably be where people get caught up. And of course, if you need to ink where you're cracking or whatever, go ahead and do that. Again, this is, what was this, basic gray or something cardstock, which was fairly decent back in the day. So there we go. There's our project. If you want to ink the tops, see the tops right here, you could ink the tops and catch that white cardstock back there. And that would be really the only other thing I would do to this. I hope you guys enjoyed this project. I love finding uses for 12 by 12 single-sided paper because I still have like thousands of sheets like most of us. So anyway, I will see you guys again tomorrow in a video. Thank you so much for watching. I appreciate each and every one of you. I'll see you soon. Bye.